So the Mac Mini is Apple's smallest and also cheapest desktop machine. It hasn't been updated since 2014, and even though it did get updated in 2014, they went down to dual core, so it got considerably less powerful, even though the single core performance went up by a little bit, not very much. We'll look into that a little bit later. It went down 2 cores, so from quad core to dual core 2012 to 2014, and also 2014 was 4 years ago. It's quite an old machine. Also, you can no longer upgrade them. You can no longer take the RAM out and replace it, upgrade from 8 gigs to 16 gigs. And also, you can no longer take the SSDs out and replace them, because before you could fit two 2.5-inch drives in there. So you could do a couple 500 gig SSDs instead of the hard drives. So you could buy a cheaper machine and then upgrade it later on. You can't do that anymore. You are stuck with what you buy. So that's really not great. And as I mentioned, dual core. It's no longer a quad core. It's much slower than it was back in 2012. So the fastest Mac Mini Apple have ever made was the 2012 model, not the latest one, the 2014. Let's look into that. So as you can see, these Geekbench 4 scores. So yeah, if you want to test these against your machine, just download Geekbench 4 and try that. So we've got 2012 on the left. So the single core performance is almost exactly the same. The 2014 is about 200 points faster. So as a percentage, that's probably about 5% or something like that. It's tiny percentage. So that's the slight speed bump on single core, so that'd be web browsing and stuff, but you really wouldn't tell the difference. And then the 2012 is like 500 points faster, so that's probably about 40% faster than the 2014 model. So the latest one is about 40% less powerful due to that quad core to dual core switch. Also, if we look at pricing, obviously you would have to buy the 2012 second hand now, because obviously the Apple don't sell them anymore. So the 2014 model in those Geekbench scores was the highest end one, which is the 8GB of RAM, 1TB Fusion drive, and obviously they all have the Intel Iris graphics. It's way slower, and also these are a lot of money. Like £1,000 for a 4-year-old machine that hasn't gone down in price since they released it is really not great. I think this is sort of a much larger issue within Apple. The same applies for the MacBook Air. The same applies for the Mac Pro, even though we know there's another one of them coming. But they should either kill it or upgrade it. And they've done neither. They've just left it, and they haven't made it clear. They haven't put a notice saying anyone who wants to buy these, just know that they're 4 years old. Just know that they won't be a great experience, because tech has moved on. You can't plug a 4K screen into it, which is starting to become more and more mainstream. So there's a lot of downfalls of these. Obviously, you can buy them second hand, quite a lot cheaper. But going into an Apple store and buying one new would be just stupid now. So I think Apple needs to get rid of this, because any normal person going to buy a Mac, they should be able to walk into the store, buy a Mac off the shelf, know what they're getting, so the latest, a decent, within the last 2 years at least, machine that would suit them well. Whereas I don't think the 2014 Mac Mini would give them a good experience. It's dual core, it's slow, it's just not a great machine. It would last them 6 months before it's just inadequate for even basic web browsing and that kind of thing. So definitely Apple need to either make it more clear, so not sell it in the stores, or just sell it online and put up a notice saying it's 4 years old, which I know they would never do, or just get rid of it or replace it. But Apple won't do any of that, because I don't think they really care that much about the Mac anymore, not in the same way they did before, because it's not their main line. The iPhones and the iPads, they're what they sell, they're what they put their focus into, and then the Mac has just kind of been left. So the MacBook Air is like 2015, I think, was the latest one they did of those, and they're still selling because they're £700 to £1,000. So I think this is a bigger fundamental issue that Apple needs to sort. So if you like this video, just give it a like down below, and also leave me any suggestions for more videos you want to see, and also subscribe obviously for more videos, and click that bell icon so that you know when I upload. I'll give you a notification, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.